So guys, former President Zuma of South Africa is in Burkina Faso and he met up with Ibrahim Traoré. And he also gave a speech in Burkina Faso. But I have my own thoughts on this, but I'm going to play a little bit of his speech and then we're going to return and talk about it. Take a listen. Boom.
Africa was colonized many centuries and oppressed, and every other thing was done by people who came here. Africans decided to say, let us now be free. And we went through that kind of situation and succeeded to have Africa, as they would say, being freed. But those who had colonized us, it was just a bit that they say, we can do this. They continued, in a sense, indirectly, to take everything in Africa they found, to claim that this belongs to them. And they still do it today. Even that freedom that we are talking about got watered down by the manner in which the relations between Africa and the colonizers were. Because colonizers still believe it was their own. And therefore, even having said, we are now free, but the misery, the problems that we still face are the same. And therefore, we as Africans have to discuss that matter and correct the wrongs. I think this country is a glaring example, this country, wherein those who oppressed them wanted to continue to do so. What was good with the leaders here, they said, not now. And it was therefore important to discuss with the president here. What can we do to ensure that this process that has been taken begins again in Africa to finally liberate Africa? If you look at what has happened, you will realize that the colonizers, since the time up to now, still believe that Africa belongs to them. And what we are discussing is, no, that time must end. We should run our own affairs. It's absolutely important. We can't even say we'll talk on this under the carpet. No, it's just facts. We discuss things related to what I've just talked about, and as you know, I can't give you all the details because we were discussing as Africans, and we are not necessarily saying we want to tell the world what is happening. We want to say, we who think alike now, what can we do to help Africans to be finally free? That's what we talk about, and I'm very happy to have met my brother here, because I think he's something in Africa that Africa will always remember. Of course, since we've met, it is possible that we'll meet again and meet again and meet again, because we need to quicken, make Africa be what it is supposed to be. Just one small point to make, and I hope Africans will listen to this small point very well. This country decided to free itself finally, not under the yoke of the colonizers. to show that we still have a serious problem, the organization here in Africa put that under the area of them committing a very serious crime which is always talked about. Our brothers here said this is a coup d'etat. It's not a coup d'etat. This country decided to free itself 100% from the colonizers. The rulers of us here, our colleagues, can't see it. They think it's a coup d'etat which was developed by the oppressors to change the kind of caliber of leaders who were there at that time, to remove them. They can't see the difference. That tells you the problem we have.
So there you have it. My thoughts on this. Number one, I don't really trust former President Zuma of South Africa because because he was once president for 10 years. He was president for 10 years. And during that 10 years, he has not accomplished not one goal that Ibrahim Traoré has accomplished in the past 4 years. And I said that to say this. We have to be mindful of all those who is now coming towards Burkina Faso to meet up with Ibrahim Traoré. But Ibrahim Traoré did say it in a speech recently that he know a lot of people come to meet him and in their heart they don't like him. He has said this. So he know most of the time when you see these leaders come to meet him, they do not actually like him, but they do it to save face, and they do it to make it seem as if they are with him with the decisions he's taking. Because I'm sure you also stated in that speech a while back, with them we cannot have nation building and have democracy at the same time. Those two things don't work in tandem. So he put forth laws to help the diaspora who want to come to invest, and he also put forth laws to help to secure his citizens' position in their country and their land and their jobs and stuff like that. So we know all the things Ibrahim Traoré has accomplished in 3 years. Almost healthcare is on par to most other countries. Education is free to the highest level. He built hospitals, he built schools, he built infrastructure, roads, electricity. He expanded his territory. He upgraded his military. He gave away land, hundreds of thousands of hectares of land free to farmers. He bought new equipments for farmers. Think about farming, every equipment you can think of, from tractors to trailers to pumps to plows to everything you can think of. He bought it for his citizens. Yeah, not to mention he bought school buses. They're manufacturing their own cars. They're refining their own gold. He have his own recycling factory. Multiple things, from cement to flour to rice to food processing to tomato. Everything you can think of, he have accomplished this in under 4 years. And most of these projects would take 3 to 4 years to finish building these factories. He do them in less than a year. Why? Because he said in another speech that he build things right. He have workers right around the clock. Because in nation building, there's no time to have time off and to wait and no. But he does not treat his workers unlawfully. He still have dual. He have day workers and night workers. So the job that will take 3 years will take 1 year or less. So anyway, now let's talk about former President Zuma. Now he comes to Burkina Faso and saying these things. When you was in power in South Africa, you did anything that benefited the South African citizens. You did not pass a law or draft a law like Ibrahim Traoré did. For example, let's take one law Ibrahim Traoré drafted, that any company who comes into Burkina Faso to open a business, 80%, I think it's 75 to 80% of the workforce has to be Burkina-based citizens. Not only they have to be Burkina-based citizens, they also have to have managerial jobs. They're not just laborers they can hire. You have to hire people in manager positions. And other key important factor he put in the law, you have to have transfer of technology within 5 years. That means whatever the company is. Let's say, for instance, they want to build cars. You have to give the workers the opportunity to know every single thing about running and managing that factory, just so they can use it against them. Now let's go back to President Zuma. They did nothing of the sort because everybody comes into South Africa business-wise and they take advantages of the locals. They underpay them. Some of them don't even pay them. Some of them lost their lives. Because, for instance, in the mining industry, you know, many mines collapse and people lose their lives. Almost time, these multinational companies come and shut down the businesses and then don't pay the workers. So they did nothing to protect South African citizens. So you cannot come and say you want to meet Ibrahim Traoré and you agree with what he's doing and he's a leader and you had the chance. You're over almost 80 years old. You was in the ANC party, which he was in when he was president. Was the ANC party. Then he has his own party, the MK. But my point still remains: none of these so-called South African presidents did not one good thing for South African citizens, including Mandela. Mandela did not, after he came out of prison, Mandela did not one good thing that will elevate or lift South Africa in any way, shape or form. That's why they use him to the point where he make the multinational companies get more richer. He made all those so-called oppressors, white ones, during that time, they even become more richer, while the black South African population have more. Actually, the increase of poverty have been drastically, and there's a drastic difference in finances between the black South Africans and the white South Africans. So there are very few groups that actually hold the financial power in South Africa, while 70% of the population is under the poverty line. That's how great that disparity there is. And these are there for the past 30 years, they have only been black presidents. So who are we going to blame for this president not to make South Africa be one of the most profitable countries in which they have so many resources? So anyway, my point still remains: President Ibrahim Traoré is very wary of those who meet him, because he knows most of them doesn't like him, and he knows what he's doing. So he's not gonna just welcome them with open arms and then forego all his hard work and his suspicion of some of these undercover spies for the powers to be. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. As always, don't know, tell a friend. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Boom.